In 1998, there was a Godzilla movie that came out, but wasn't too successful and was not as popular as they intended to believe. But yet, with Godzilla and Kong coming out in 2024, which is next year, with a lot of news and trailers and everything else being spoken about it, you would think that Godzilla vs. and Kong would be a major blockbuster. One can wish, since I didn't really like the remake. And maybe on this channel, maybe next year, maybe this year, I will go back and rewatch and review Godzilla and the remake of Godzilla vs. Kong on this channel. But Godzilla is one of my all-time favorite, movie monsters. There's just something about him that you just really like. Maybe it's the fact that you can see yourself as a giant monster destroying cities and killing people. Or maybe you can see yourself as the superhero side of him, which is the side that I really did enjoy. Was not an intention of the Godzilla creator and first director Ishiro Honda, where Godzilla would turn into a superhero later on in his career. Was not intentional at all. But why do I talk about the 1998 film? Because during the time, the 1998 film was pushed to its limit to be successful. Was it really? No, but it had a lot of marketing gimmicks that ended up becoming a true factor to the film. Had a lot of toys, clothing, and probably one of the most underrated TV series that ever happened in the 90s. Hello, my name is Lazy Universe. This is a lazy review of the 1998 to 1999 underrated but yet classic Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm Lazy Universe, and I'm White and Nerdy. Godzilla the series, or Godzilla the Animated Series, was a basic trademark of the time period that Godzilla existed in. While the 1998 film was a disaster from beginning to end, there was one high mark that did come out from this. When Fox Kids bought the copyright rights and decided to give it a birth through animation, the same animation company that made the very underrated Men in Black series, as well as a series that nobody probably remembers, The Big Guy and Rusty. If you remember any of those shows, I applaud you. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you are way too damn young to be involved with this channel. Because some of the references and things that I talk about are like old TV shows, which people don't care about anymore. But the 1998 Godzilla series was actually very successful and very profitable for the time being. It was a high mark success series and really was what should have been the original movie concept. See, Godzilla in the 1998 film wasn't born of atomic radiation. In fact, I believe he is actually a mutated creature that just so happens that he can breathe fire. One of the superpowers that the American Godzilla has compared to the Japanese one is that he can jump very high. Something that they never established very much in the movie, except for when he made a cameo in Godzilla Final Wars. That was it, and then got the shit kicked out of him. And also he made technically a cameo in Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Attack. Yeah, and if you've seen that video, my 100 subscriber special, I did talk about that. Also, by the way, we are 10 subscribers away from 200, and I just want to say, before we get into the review, thank you guys so much for enjoying these videos. I always love it when you guys leave a like or when you guys comment something, because it makes me proud to know that you guys are enjoying these videos, and I just want to say thank you so much. When we reach 200 subscribers, I have no idea what I will do for a 200 subscriber special. So we'll find out. I'll maybe ask you guys. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe I won't do nothing at all. We'll see. But anyways, Godzilla the Animated Series was a very successful series, as I stated, and continued off where the movie ended. While we're not going to go into a deep dive review of the entire series, I will have to note that it is mostly consistent of Godzilla versus mutated monsters or creatures throughout his adventures. But in fact, the main character of the series, Nick, played by Matthew Broderick in the movie, Broderick, while he's a voice actor, voicing Simba for the Walt Disney Lion King, he does not reappear to be the voice actor. Instead, they got Dawson Creek star Ian Ziering. And does Ian Ziering make the character his own? I think he did, except there were a few performances where his voice acting could have been better, but I digress. In fact, the series is pretty damn decent, and I really do feel, and probably a lot of other fans feel too, that this is what the movie should have been. At the beginning, let's just kill the female Godzilla, which the movie made for some reason, and have the movie be about her son that was later on born after she ended up dying. Like I said, the first episode begins with Godzilla attacking New York. He attacks the Manhattan Bridge, and then the female Godzilla, as we all know, ends up dying. Whether by accident or by design, Nick ends up finding a baby Godzilla hidden in a cave that ends up being born, and in fact, look to Nick as sort of like a biological father or mother. Nick ends up uniting a small team of people together with Godzilla in hand in order to create a small organization known as Heat and have Godzilla destroy the monster that he comes across. Sorry. What's that? It's a reference to something? In fact, yes, it is. The reference is to the 1960s, 80s, 70s. I forget when it came out. I think 1967, maybe? The Hanna-Barbera Godzilla series, where they did the same thing with Godzilla, but summoning him by either using his son Godzuki or by using a trigger on a boat, which sends out a signal to him, which causes him to erupt from the sea. If you think I'm a dork, yes, I am, and thank you so much for noticing. Yet, and in fact, they have something known as Heat in the series. This is something that the team had created, and in fact, the Heat in this is actually, basically the same team of people from the Hanna-Barbera series, just differently. There are some other notable voice actors in this. Probably the most famous is SpongeBob SquarePants or Rocco from Rocco Modern Life himself. Tom Kenny is in this. He voices the doctor or the professor in the series. But there is one thing why I can't really go into a very deep dive in this series, you see. And that's because that, but I'll get to it in a minute, the HEAT, in case you're wondering, stands for Humanitarian Environmental Analysis Team. And, yeah. But the animation and everything is still good, but why can't I really do a deep dive of this animated series? Well, it's because, the series that released this, or the team that released this, Mill Creek Entertainment, as you can see there, this doesn't have any subtitles. It doesn't have any subtitles or closed captioning. So for deaf people, like some people out there instead of just me, cannot watch this series properly. But I still have it in my collection just to have to enjoy. I know that sounds like a nitpick, but it's a strong nitpick. If you want other people that are deaf or hard of hearing to really enjoy this series, then it should have subtitles and or closed captioning involved in it. It's a sad part because you're trying to enjoy the series, but you have no idea what the characters are saying. Yes, I do have the unique ability of reading lips, it's just I can't read animated lips, in case you were wondering. But the series still does hold up, and in fact, it's mostly just consistent of Godzilla facing off against different monsters or aliens that come to New York City. And it's like, yeah, you would think that New York has enough shit to worry about nowadays, don't you? But no, let's just have giant monsters invading it as well, too. Just have everything being thrown at poor New York City. While tragically nothing special, the Godzilla Animated Series was a favorite series for a lot of people, myself included, especially due to its low budget animation quality and also for what it did to the animation district. Also, this series is beloved by a lot of Godzilla fan bases and fandoms to this day. So probably without Godzilla the Animated Series, the fandom of Godzilla would not be as strong as it is right now. Whether in spite of its flaws or in desire of them, this series is still great, it's still impressive, and it still holds up to today as one of the best Godzilla series ever been seen. It would be a no fucking duh of me to be like, well, not everybody gonna be involved in this series, and I am right about that, but if you have the time and the chance, I would recommend just giving it a look. Compared to some animated series nowadays, this might be nothing to write home about, but I do think that it still holds up pretty well to this day, and in fact, it's still one of the best Godzilla series I've ever seen. In fact, if you do want to check out the Godzilla Animated Series, there is a YouTube channel called Throwback Tunes, which is throwing back and throwing back the old Godzilla the Animated Series for everybody to enjoy. So you guys can go and check that out at any given time. You can come back to this if you want to. I'm not going to do an episode by episode review or show my favorite episode, mostly because I don't really have a favorite episode involved in this series. The animation quality is decent, the voice acting is pretty subpar, but there is just one thing that just was unfortunate for the series is that it was cancelled only a year after being shown. In 1999, the plug was pulled. I think that's because of the criticism and backlash from a lot of Godzilla fans and critics calling Godzilla 1998 the biggest disaster that ever happened. Yeah, the late 90s to early 2000s, in a sense, was not really a great time for most movies coming out, unfortunately. Do we need to forget that Batman and Robin happened? Yeah, we don't need to forget that that happened. But Godzilla 98 was not profitable as a movie, but as an animated series, I can definitely say it is one of the most unique and yet probably profitable series if they kept going with it. It's just unfortunate that you have the really amazing and also underrated Hanna-Barbera Godzilla series that came out way before this motherfucker, which was genius. Fucking genius of a series. And yes, I know, it was made in the goofy era of cartoons. What more do you want me to say? It's still awesome just to see in regards just to have the King of the Monsters, being seen, especially in cartoon form. Godzilla the Animated Series was pretty decent for the time that it came out, and it did have a fan base and cult following that is still growing to this day. If you want a more better analytical review, I would recommend checking out either Matt McMuscles, who did a review of this, I think, or the Hanna-Barbera series, I forget, I think he did both, or Paper Fins, who actually went into detail through every review of his, with videos over 40 minutes long. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do that anymore and really pull together like a freaking 5 hour long video. Yeah, that's not me. But I will tell you this in sweet and short sympathy is that every review has a monster and a dilemma for Godzilla and a team to follow. Yes, this kind of followed Godzilla King of the Monsters where we also have characters that we're supposed to care about. But unlike those greatly written characters, these ones I really didn't give two craps about at all. I really didn't care if they survived or not. There was a lot of scenes and details where they ended up like almost dying. It's like, most of these characters I really don't care about. I think the one that you're supposed to care about is Dr. Nick Tatopoulos in the series, but I really don't understand why everybody was like, we want more. Like, less people talking, more Godzilla action. My main complaint with Godzilla vs. Kong, the remake, is that it kept jumping around from places to places. It really should not have been made when the pandemic happened, is all I'm trying to say, people. But Godzilla the Animated Series in a total is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the best series that I've ever seen. I can see why people do like it, but for me, I do think that it's underrated. It just, unless there is a closed captioning or subtitled DVD release, especially for me and my standards, it really kind of does sink a little bit lower than expected. But there is some great animation magic involved in this, and as a guy that still loves animation to this day, I can definitely say that the animation is pretty much what you expect from the series at the time, especially since this was the animation quality that was happening, like during, like I said, Men in Black and the Big Guy and Rusty, which was really also underrated cartoon that came out in the late 90s to early 2000s. But still, Godzilla the Animated Series is such a great series, and also some of the monster designs that they use in it are pretty damn good and fantastic. I really do like the different monster aspects that they end up using in this series, which is pretty, again, really damn good for it. It's just, I would like it probably a lot more if I could really understand what the characters are saying, and maybe I would have a favorite episode to talk about. But no. And the series ending was pretty subpar, truthfully. The final episode of the series was really, really, really subpar. Truthfully, instead of two unaired episodes, this is technically only 38 episodes, not 40. So you can see just how really kind of like low budgeted and also kind of like how quick the plug was pulled on it. Kind of reminds me of the John Woodford Ship, the Flash series, which only had 22 episodes. So you can see how quick that the plug was pulled on these series, unfortunately. But Godzilla still holds up to this day, and he still is the king of the monsters. It's just not as great as the Kong animated series that would come out years later. I think like 10 years after this film did. So, yeah, man, unfortunately, the Godzilla the animated series is probably this version compared to the Hanna-Barbera version. This version is probably just a little bit more subpar, to me at least, compared to the Hanna-Barbera series, but I digress, and it's still a great series. I don't know, man. Is this series for you? Is it not for you? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Or have you never seen it before? Again, give Throwback Tunes a look and let me know how you guys think about it in the comments down below. I had some greatly written series and also some pretty amateurish written series. It's still great in so far as total as usual. But Godzilla for me, animated series wise, this one is pretty damn decent. I just wish that again it had the subtitles and closed captioning just to be more involved in it for me because I am deaf and hard of hearing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Give Throwback Tunes a look. They uploaded the first 2 or 3 episodes so far of it. And also shout out to Paper Fins and Matt McMuscle who also did reviews of the Godzilla series. Go and check those ones out as well. Or just giving them support in the channel. That's everything that's good for them. I think mostly the one that could be watched is the one that Paper Fin did on every single episode mostly. As a total, he goes into really good aspects of it. But I wish I could have do more, but since I couldn't really understand what was going on, I'm just ending the video here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Willie Universe. I've been What You Nerdy. Check out Godzilla the Animated Series. Let me know what you guys think about it. I think it was pretty subpar, but that's just my opinion. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter with the link in the description down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Lady Universe. I've been White Nerdy, and keep geeking on. And until until next time, my Godzilla fans.